Hey everybody, this is Ian Hamp, the chair of Legislative District 25 Democrats, coming at you with the first in a weekly series of quick video updates that tie into update emails that we're going to be sending out. Just the emails are just brief. Here's some key dates to pay attention to. Here's some quick action items that are relevant right now that you can do to help with a variety of things going on in our community that we could use your help to address, and anything else that we just want to get in front of you and have you be able to see that we think is important to pay attention to. Um, and we've historically sent out sort of piecemeal emails here and there, and we might need to do that from time to time. But I think the more that we do that, the more difficult it is to pay attention to everything that's going on. So the idea here is every Friday morning, we will send out an updated email with calendar of upcoming events, things that you can do right now to help, and anything else that we think is relevant and timely to the moment. So that's the idea, but there's only so much space in a quick email that we want you to be able to quickly navigate through and find what you're looking for. And so this video is meant to augment that and give you a little more detail into some of the things that are in those weekly emails. So looking at the calendar of events, some things that I would call out, there's every Sunday afternoon civic engagement beyond voting, which is a phenomenal resource that we use many times throughout the year to get important information about what's going on with our elected officials here in Arizona, with what's going on down at the legislature and the proposed legislation that's being tried to they're trying to put through in different committees and so on. So they have a request to speak happy hour. Request to speak is the system that we as citizens of Arizona can use to have our voice heard by our representatives, by our senators in the legislature about any particular bill that's being heard by committee, or there's even ways to do it before it's being considered by a committee. But request to speak happy hours happen every Sunday evening from 4 to 6. So if you already are doing request to speak and you just want to do it with other like-minded people, then have a place where you can ask questions, get feedback, just be inspired by the others that are there. People from all over the state are coming to these happy hours. They have actual legislators from the Arizona Senate or the Arizona House there to explain like their perspective on what's going on. And then Melinda Iyer, who is the author of the primary author of the legislative weekly that Civic Engagement Beyond Voting puts out. She's there as well, and so she can also dive into some of the things that we really need to be paying attention to, the bills that are particularly egregious or that are amazing and actually really need our support. So I would encourage you to attend one of those. I go every week. I find them really inspiring, and it's a nice place to sit down and do my request to speak things in that system for the week. If you've never done it, if you've never done request to speak, go and check it out. They actually have trainers that they'll put you into a little breakout room with in Zoom, and they'll go over getting an account set up, how to use it, and so on. So highly encourage you there. Some other things that are going on, so that's every Sunday. In early February, we've got a couple of, there's a new thing that we're doing in LD25 called Lounge 25. So it's kind of like Cafe 25 that we were doing last year, but in the evenings. But similar in that it's less structured than perhaps a typical Zoom meeting. There's still some structure at the beginning, kind of an introduction to the topic. We've got some guests with a specific focus, but it's meant to be very conversational and an opportunity for us to engage with our guests and just ask questions in a more free setting than perhaps a typical interview. So it's really like a lounge. It's like happy hour. And so on February 4th, we have Rachel Clausen coming. She's one of our newest PCs in LD25, and she's also the Save Our Schools Arizona East Valley Community Action Team coordinator. And so she can help us understand what's going on at the legislature this year that Save Our Schools Arizona is paying attention to. There's all sorts of really, unfortunately, awful things that they're attempting to do to strip further money from public education, because that's what they do down there, as long as the Republicans are in power, unfortunately. And so she can help us understand how we can help to stop that. And then the following week, the 1619 Project Advocates for Arizona, Lisa Olson and Shelley Gordon, who happen to also be LD25 PCs, started the Advocacy for Arizona sort of chapter, if you will, of the 1619 Project, and have been working tirelessly to get that curriculum into some of the classrooms in Arizona, so they can come and talk about. They're going to come and talk about their success so far, what the 1619 Project is all about, and how we can support them. A couple of other events that are coming up. February 7th, if you are PC curious, if you are interested in maybe learning how to become a precinct committee person or PC, if you just want to understand how to perhaps get more involved in the local Democratic Party, this is a really good event, I think, for you to consider attending. Or if you know people who are, want to get a little bit more involved, have them attend February 7th from 1 to 2 p.m. It's a Sunday afternoon. And we're going to have an intro to being a precinct committee member class. It's I say class, but it's very conversational. Ask any questions you have, and it's sort of with the LD25 Democrats filter on it. So it's what being a PC in our district means, which is going to be very similar, but we have a little bit of a different. Every district has a little bit of a different approach to it. So we'll talk about what you're signing up for, what the benefits are, what the requirements are, sort of the responsibilities, and who should and shouldn't be a PC. You don't necessarily need to be a precinct committee person to be an awesome volunteer for Legislative District 25 Democrats or get more involved. Certainly that's not the case, but for some people it's a great fit, and it certainly benefits the party to have your voice as a part of it. So attend if you can. The last thing I'll call out on our calendar is on February 14th, which is also Valentine's Day, but earlier in the afternoon, hopefully not conflicting with Valentine's Day activities that you might have planned, we have an Arizona Statehood Festival that we have planned, because it's also Arizona Statehood Day on February 14th. So from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. on that Sunday, we're going to have trivia contests. We're going to have a team scavenger hunt, all on Zoom. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to give away a lot of prizes. It's also a fundraiser. There's no cost to enter, but we're going to ask people to donate during the event. And if you do, then you get additional access to potentially winning some of the prizes that we've got. So it's going to be a really good time, and I hope you all can attend. And then, of course, we have our monthly meeting, which is on the third Thursday of every month, and that's coming up on February 18th. I don't know the full agenda yet. We're still working on that, but one thing I know for sure is going to be a focus is redistricting, which is going to come up later this year or early in 2022, probably. There's also in the email that's coming out this week is the notes from our January meeting. So if you missed it, or if you just want to review what we did there, who we had speak, and how you can get a hold of them if you have additional questions of them, all of that is in the meeting notes that we have linked to in the email. A few ways that you can take action this week. So first of all, there's a phone bank that's happening actually almost daily. There's one you can jump onto where they're making calls into Phoenix voters, likely Democrat voters that are they're trying to get out and vote in the city council special runoff election, which actually takes place in early March. It might seem a little weird for us who, LD25 is completely in Mesa. Why are we phone banking for Phoenix? Well, what happens in Phoenix certainly affects us. You know, it's a Metro Phoenix area, and in one of these races in particular, the District 3 versus Deb Stark, you've got somebody that's basically a QAnon conspiracy theorist running to be on the Phoenix City Council, and you know, you can imagine what that disruptive, you know, presence could mean for the city of Phoenix going forward. So it's a big deal that not happen. And honestly, you know, people aren't it's just not on the radar that people aren't paying attention to the fact that there's an election coming up in March. So most of these calls aren't persuasion to like, hey, please vote for this person. It's, hey, did you know there's an election and you should be paying attention to it? I'm going to be making calls Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Phone banking is one of my least favorite things, but you know, sometimes it's just important enough that you got to do it. We also would encourage you to consider contacting Senator Sinema about ending the filibuster. You know, there's so many things, pro-democracy bills, enhanced healthcare, climate change legislation, immigration reform. There's so many things that we need to do. Yeah, now that we have the trifecta, we have the presidency, we have the House, and we barely have the Senate. And that, you know, we don't know how long that's going to last. 2022 is looking to be, you know, not the easiest of elections for Democrats. And so we really need to take advantage of the time that we have now. So I would encourage you to consider it. And if you do want to encourage Senator Sinema to end the filibuster, then there's phone numbers that are available for you to call. I've already talked about request to speak, so there's some additional links there that in the action items where you can jump in and get additional support for that tool, and to subscribe to the Legislative Weekly so that you know what's going on in our state legislature. That's it for this week. Hopefully you found this useful. We will continue to try and provide additional benefit and make these videos better, make the action LD25 Democrats in Action weekly update as useful as possible. So if you have any feedback, we'd love to hear it. This is a brand new project, and we certainly, you know, we want to make this as useful as possible for all of you. So feedback is very welcome. Thank you. Have a wonderful week, and go out there and make a difference. Thank you, everybody.